Oh, I think, it's going to be the internet, isn't it? Right. Hello, hello, hello. Give me 2 seconds. Just going to check something, but I am back. And hopefully my internet connection here is going to be good. We shall see. But if you are here, do drop a hi down below. Let me know, see if you can see me or hear me. I've got a couple of questions coming already. I will jump on them in a second. But just let me know in the comments down below if you can hear me and see me. So I need to make sure that we're live. That's an important point. And obviously if your audio is working fine. So I've been away for a couple of weeks. If you want to know, I've been in London, Bulgaria, back to London, Paris, Madrid, and now back to Mexico City. Beautiful time, really, really nice. And I think we should all take a break from our businesses sometimes. That's something super important. But I'm just going to check to see if you can actually see me. Just let me know if you can hear me and see me. So am I live in the Facebook group as well? Oh, wow, I can see myself. Woo. And I assume I'm live on YouTube as well. So if you can hear me, let me know. So The Edge has said, hi, Tom, all good. Hi, thank you, The Edge. Cool. Guys, drop your questions down below. I'm just going to jump in. I appreciate I've been away for a while. And I just want to say thank you to everyone, obviously, for the questions and coming back. It's nice to have a break. So let's kind of jump in. 2, 3, 2, 1. So, hi there. Amazon requested compliance documents for toy products alongside images. I didn't take any images of it, however, they were sent in ages ago. Any advice? Okay. Compliance docs. So a couple of things to think of. Number one, compliance docs, they normally give you a date by which you've got to submit the compliance docs. 99% of the time in our case, what we're going to do is just get them sold before that date. If we reduce the price down, maybe don't take so much profit, we'll do it. It's fine. So that's it. You're going to get it sold by then. Number two is if you've got the compliance docs, but obviously they're after images and you're like, okay, maybe you want to keep selling this product. One thing I have done in the past, I mean, this is like 5 years ago when I first started, is I went and bought the product from a retailer, in another version of the product from the retailer, just one, got it shipped to my house next day delivery. And then I took photos of it and then I basically got it returned. So you can do that. And I'm not saying you should, because that's obviously against what we really try and do, but you can. So see how that goes. If you need images, or go down the shop and take images, it doesn't really matter. You just got to take all 6 sides. So like, this phone is your product. It's got to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you need to make sure that you get like, if there's like I haven't really got a product here. I'm sorry, I'm in a hotel at the moment. But like, if it's got like say water, for example, they have like the labels. Make sure you get like the actual kind of like icon labels, like the FC stamp is really clear. That's got to be very clear to do that. But generally speaking, you just get them sold before the deadline. That's good. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I will answer them. Honestly, I have a really good track record. I really enjoy these. First things first, thank you so much for joining me. I'm back in Mexico now, so nice to crack on with work. So David's come in. Hey, David, thanks for the question. 231, let me know if that answers your question down below. David said, hi, Tom, thanks for helping us. Love the stream. Cool, thank you. How does the company ensure purchasing managers are only purchasing for the company and nothing sinister is going on, i.e. fraud? Yeah, really good. It's a good question. So a couple of questions, or a couple of things to think about is, there's 2 things you really want to think about. Number one is called like policies, procedures, and then the other one is called motivation. So your policies and procedures is what everyone talks about. That's the fallback. That's what happens if the motivation is not there and it's a detection. But if the motivation is not there, you're going to get problems. And really, this isn't this isn't how you should try and manage. Yes, it should be here, but this is the fallback. Really, this is what you want to be focusing on, the motivation. So I'll start with the fallback first, and then I'll talk about motivation. So the fallback is if we talk about in our business, number one, cash handling policy, they sign that, they make sure that they know what they need to do, how they handle it, etc. Number two, they protect the card details, fine. Number three, we might have like one card per purchasing manager, for example. We've got, I think, 6. So they have different cards, so we can kind of there's accountability. Also, number 4 is the fact that every purchase they make goes on to obviously the USS, Ultimate Sourcing Sheet, and that's how we track all the purchases. Do a link down there, just there, and then what happens is they have to record all the purchases. And then number 2 is the fact that every purchase that comes through, your bank will generally do 2-factor authentication. So it'll be like every purchase that comes through, they record on the sheet. So number 2 is also the fact that my admin VAs will go through, number 1, that they have a bank record. they'll do it the next day. And then also as well, number two is maybe they'll go through the two-factor authentication messages and just check that two-factor authentication for $100 for, I don't know, Argos. Have we got that on the USS? Yes, tick. This one's for that one. Have we got that? Oh, no, like, well, that's fraud. So something going on there. Yeah, and so then basically we have a checks and balances. So they purchase, but they know that they'll be checked and balanced with my admin VAs the next day. And we have a general rule that if we have a whole process, like if we believe fraud is going on both internally and externally, we have an internal policy. And that is basically the admin VA documents it, they exactly what it is, why they think it is, and the evidence. They immediately pass it on to the line manager. So you have my purchasing manager, you have my ops manager, who's kind of like you, the client. They'll get all that evidence, they'll review it, and if they decide to make the decision that they want to suspend the purchasing card straight away, maybe it's fraud outside, then we have a whole process we go through then. So that's kind of like there's a few more bits that we do as well, but that's the back of house. But the motivation is what you really want. You want it whereby like you run you pay them well, you treat them really well, and you run incentives so that they're incentivized that the company does well and this is a long-term business for them. So it's not like, oh, I'll go spend like £1,000 and keep it myself. No, they'll be like, well, look, I'm getting good money from this, and I know that if I leave, then I probably would never earn this money elsewhere. So, I think my purchasing managers might be like 25, 30 baseline, but with bonuses, it really adds up. So, or purchasing assistants. So just that's the kind of thing to really think about. Number one, fall back. It's really about motivation. Treat them well, care for them, give them career progression, give them great pay, and give them flexibility. Make it like a great place and just check in on them. We do like team employment surveys. All of those are kind of indicators of like, are they happy? That's it. And if they're happy, then you won't get the fraud or the problems. But if they're not, then ideally you want to detect it before it becomes fraud, because it's not like one day they're happy, the next day they're not. It's like one day they're happy, they're a bit more annoyed, then they steal money. So you detect it before, and that's what you're really doing. So you have good detection mechanisms. Hope that makes sense, David. Let me know down below. And if there's anything in particular or not, I kind of went through it quite a high level, but I've got a lot of questions coming in. I really want to answer everyone else's, but really good question. I really understand. It's a really good point. So Edge, hi, all good. Thank you so much, Edge. Appreciate that. And thanks for joining. Xavier, I think that is right. June was very slow for me. How was it for you? I don't know. I got my P&L review. I've been away for 4 weeks. So I got my P&L review next week, so I'll see. Look, by the way, I think our revenues are down only for the fact that we're now, like, we're just slowing the business down because we've got more cash than we need, so we don't need to push the revenue. But also as well, we'd rather hold on to the stock for a bit longer. Restock limits are higher. And in addition to that, what would we rather do as well? We would rather make more profits. That's it. We're improving. Our ROI has gone up dramatically. So if you're just going to have a look, I'll kind of show you here. So last 12 months, I don't know if you can see it down there, 3.47 million. And you can kind of see like June this side. You can see it has come down. That's obviously the current month. It has come down. It's not too bad. It's not as high as it was, but we're more profitable. So it wasn't too bad. USA is now really good as well. So I don't know. Maybe it might be a product mix. Go wider. Buy some more products. That's all I can recommend. 2, thanks, Tom. We'll probably go for selling it ASAP option. Yeah, I agree. Simple. Keep it simple. It's not worth it. Move on. Don't buy again. Xavier, do you think the slow during Q3 is due to holidays? No, I think the slow sales is probably due to everyone's talking about inflation. Like, everyone, the news, everyone's talking about inflation. The crash is coming. Everyone's losing their jobs. Everyone's going to be unemployed. They're not. Like right now, there's a massive UK, like there's more jobs than there are people who want jobs. So it's a bit of a weird place. But inflation's a big problem right now. So I think people are maybe just tightening the buttons. And also, let's go back. Come on, 6 months ago, we were in COVID. We were still in lockdown. Christmas, people were talking about that, and it was all coming out the back end, and people were still buying products online. Now they're buying services. So I think it's more inflation, and like fuel inflation, the war in Russia, like interest rate hikes. That's what I'd say. Everyone's just being a bit more careful. Fuel in the UK has gone through the roof. Man, hi Tom. What are your techniques for purchasing from suppliers that cancel orders? Top tip for you. Look, the couple of things to say is just you've got to IP address, change that, change your address, change the credit card. You're trying to adjust to each individual variable, create a new account, for example, reduce down the amount of orders you're doing. Fuck it, give them a call. Sorry, language. Give them a call. Find out why. Like, hey, why did you cancel this? If they're like, oh, we don't sell to resellers, cool. Then you get to be a bit more sly. But if they're like, oh, maybe your card was rejected because the billing address didn't match the shipping address. Very normal in the US. They'd be like, oh, okay, cool, we'll fix that. I would call them first and then see what they say, and then like do all the other bits. But it's a process of elimination. I know people who have full-time purchasers. Their only job is to see if they can figure out how to get orders through. And it might even be little things like changing your name slightly. When we talk about address, it might be like, my address is like 1 Main Road. It might be Main Road 1, and that'll get through. Well, hey, so you got to tweak, you got to play. Like, and by the way, like, appreciate that these suppliers are good, hard, because it means if you can get an order through, fantastic. But the one thing I should say, kind of caveat on the other end, is that if you do get the order through, fantastic. If you don't, like, and you try, like, don't spend your whole life doing it, because at the end of the day, like, there is a supplier out there who wants your money. These guys don't. Like, for us, boots, we don't even bother. It's not worth it. So there's a balance, and I leave that up to you to figure that out. There's no defining factor. AA. Hi, Tom. I'm a fan. Cool. Thank you. Thanks for joining, by the way. I went on your website to subscribe to OA Leads. Do they provide the supply details from where to buy them? Yes, that's correct. So really, at a very fundamental level, fasttrackfba/leads, fasttrackfba.com/leads. That's our lead service, UK and USA. We do it slightly differently. So instead of giving you like 10 deals a day, you come in, you get tokens, and then you can see all the deals my team find, and then we exchange those tokens to unlock deals. Now, what we do is we show you every deal we have that we found, and you can see everything apart from what the product name is, supplier, the supplier URL, and the Amazon ASIN. So we do all the analysis for you. And then the concept comes is that once you're happy, you can unlock it with your tokens. And if there's any problems out of stock, price change, for example, gated, you can get pretty much instant refunds. So, and once you unlock with the tokens, I exchange a token to unlock the details, you will get those supplier details and where to buy them. So don't worry about that. Yeah. Any problems, let us know. But the team are really good. And there's a little chat head window down in the bottom left-hand corner that will help you out. AA, great question. Let me know if that answers your question down below. Man, are there any drawbacks for using PayPal in the UK OA business as opposed to bank card? No. Ironically, a lot of people get a lot more orders through with PayPal than they do with a bank card. Why? Because I don't think PayPal shows the billing address. It only shows the shipping address to the purchasing company, and you can get a lot through. So it works quite well. Also, on the other one, they'll give you loans if you do enough. And also, PayPal will give you a debit card as well, which helps. I think that has protection. Don't quote me, but I think it does as well. So we have a PayPal business, and we use that, and it works fine. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. 2E, just a quick 2321. Just a quick follow-up. One of the toys will most likely not be sold anytime due to low sales numbers. Is it worth recalling it rather than taking it? Yeah, you can recall it, potentially return it to the supplier. I don't like that. A lot of people say don't do it. I think it's bad practice. Like, this supplier sold it to you, you can't sell it. Well, that should be your problem, not theirs. They shouldn't have to take your rejects, because we get annoyed when customers do that for us. So we shouldn't do it to them, like standards. But I think for you said low number of sales. Hey, if you crash the price enough, trust me, anything sells. It doesn't matter. Like, if I was selling water for 1p a bottle, I promise you it'd be selling like hotcakes. It's just price. Price will dictate it. But I hope that makes sense too. Right. Man, have you ever been blocked, banned by any of the suppliers, and how did you deal with it? Yes, moved on. That was it. We've been blocked many times, and we've got, in the UK, for example, it's our biggest marketplace. Like, probably most of the big suppliers, like the Hut Group, they're huge. They do loads of stuff. Banned. Can't get orders through on them. It does happen. They just see that you're buying way too much. But seriously, while we are blocked, we're still doing like 250,000 a month in sales. So it's not too bad. So you can still buy enough stock. That happens. Facebook user. Hey, Tom, how do you find sourcing in the USA versus UK? I'm a UK seller, but I've been watching your recent videos and I think about expanding to USA. Just wondering if sourcing is pretty similar. I many use reverse sourcing stuff. Yeah, like, my God, like so let's just kind of backtrack. The reason why I did USA rather than like eBay or anything else was two things. That's a pain. So I didn't want to continue going into the UK or the EU, should we say? And I know you can do like pan EU, etc. I just didn't want to do that. We will go into Germany, but we're going to do it a different way. But then number two is the US market is huge, absolutely huge, and cashback and everything else. I like to risk diversify. So I thought, why not just try it, like see how it goes? And every single sourcing method, everything works exactly the same. Reverse sourcing, etc., it all works. The one thing which I will say is I'll change it in a second. Yeah, so that all works. So it's literally like everything we've learned in the UK, we now do in the US. And I had an interview with Gavin Sweeney the other day, I think we released it, it's been a while ago now, a month or two ago. And he's pretty much like, look, my UK business, I'm going to like slow it right down, maybe look at stopping it. And then in the US, he's ramping that up massively. Why? The margins are so much better. And I agree, it takes longer to ship stock, but we're making more profit, in the US per product than we do in the UK. It's absolutely incredible. And I think that's something to consider. And like, if I put it in perspective right now, in the UK, we're doing like 250,000. In the US, we're doing 125, 130,000 this month. I would possibly, I'm not going to put the thing on it, but I would possibly say that maybe by Christmas, if not next year, the US will be doing more sales than the UK arbitrage. It's a bigger market, as much thing. So, and also as well, we've already started getting loan offers, not from Amazon, but from other factors. So, yeah, there's so much opportunity. Like, if you do want to get involved, I'd really recommend it. I'll just change it down the bottom here. Just down below your question, down here, it's got the course that I created. 97 or 99 pounds, I think it is, $130. It's start selling on Amazon USA. Literally, it's the bank account, the process, how we incorporated, everything that we did in the process. And the reason is, people might say, oh, you can just do it from the UK over to the US with your seller account, which is true. You don't want to. Why? It's like 66% of all the sellers won't even allow you to buy from them, arbitrage, because they don't accept foreign billing addresses. So there's so many little problems, and what you want to do is you want to open up the marketplace. So I'd really recommend buying that. It just answers a lot of your questions, and it just answers so many things like bank accounts, how to do it. You don't have to fly to the US, and also cashback, credit card, everything you're using. Check it out, trust me. FastTrackFBA.com, start selling on Amazon USA, or you can do it FastTrackFBA.com courses, and then getting started on USA. So I hope that makes sense. Let's kind of jump through Facebook. Have you ever considered hiring a VA from anywhere else in the Philippines? Yeah, not a problem. Definitely. And by the way, I'm not saying you should only hire Philippines. No, not at all. Like, there are very good VAs in other different countries. I live in Mexico. Like, I have actually hired a VA in Vietnam before. But the only reason why I don't is because at the end of the day, if you think about businesses, Tom has a dream. He needs to communicate that dream, that vision, to his team who bring it to life. So the biggest problem there is my ability to communicate. And when I have people in the Philippines, it's a challenge enough, because obviously I need to understand their culture and how they work and identify weaknesses in how my communication is and communicate to them. But the more cultures I have, the more people I have, i.e. not Filipinos, say like Pakistan, India, Philippines, maybe Mexico, maybe Vietnam, now I've got a lot more complexity. And if you know anything about business, complexity is the enemy, simplicity is the key. There's a reason why it's called KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So really, we just kind of got to a certain point. I think it was about 20 VAs or maybe 15 VAs. Who was like, we should probably just keep hiring VAs from the Philippines, because even internally, when they talk, they understand each other. But if you have like someone from Philippines and Pakistan talking, that's going to be a big problem. So we just keep hiring Philippines. And also from a VA Academy perspective, we've got a formula. It works. We know how to hire VAs from the Philippines and do them by customers. We know the common problems. And if you've got something which is working, why would you change it? So like, I'm not saying that there are not good VAs out there. No, there are. There's loads of really good VAs in India, Pakistan, Vietnam, Mexico, for example, UK, US, everywhere in the world. It's just, we have something which works. Copy, paste. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't make life hard. Keep it simple, because I'm stupid. Right. Who's taking massive action? Mr. Sean Gilbert. Let me know how you're getting on with property. I know you're into that. I've been following you. Loving what's going on. David, thanks for your really insightful answer. Please could you let us know if your companies do all the purchasing on credit cards, or do you use debit cards? US, we do debit. We do. The majority is on credit now. We have credit in the US. We did start with debit when we first started. We do talk about it in the course there. Getting credit in the US is a bit hard to start with, but you can get it. UK, all credit cards. Everything's credit card. If you know me and follow me, I love traveling, hotels. I'm actually in a hotel right now, paid for by points. It's like $100, $200 a night, and I'm not paying a penny for it. I've just flown myself and my girlfriend to the UK. We've done London, Paris, and Madrid, all business class, or I flew first myself, and 5-star hotels. didn't pay a penny apart from taxes on the flights. That was it. And it's all credit card points. So definitely use credit cards. And also if you get fraud, we've had fraud, 10,000 in the US. I've had about 11,000 in the UK as well. The credit card, Amex just says, hi, sir, I think you've had fraud. Would you like us to cancel? We can't get a new one. Yeah, cool. Says, oh, don't worry, we'll deal with the fraud as well. That's not on your account anymore. Like, thank you. So yeah, definitely use credit cards wherever possible. Maymet, I think it is. Can I sell handmade products on Amazon more than Etsy production time? Yeah, well, I don't really know. I'm guessing you can send handmade products on Etsy. You just got to put in your production time. Yeah, look at. I can't really comment, but yeah, definitely look at it. I just look at YouTubers like doing handmade. Do some research. I think you can do it. Their resin pendants. I'm not an expert. I'll be honest with you. I don't really know the answer. Just do some research. Ask in some groups. I wouldn't recommend Fast Track FBA group. We're not good at this. There will be like Handmade Amazon. Search that on Facebook. Find them. Ask in the communities. Look at some YouTubers. They'll do it as well. Unfortunately, we're arbitrage. So we resell like Lego branded products. So I can't really help. I think I wouldn't see why not. AJL, hi Tom, just to give me an idea, how many SKUs do you have in stock at any one time? Rough guess. Oh, I don't need to give you a rough guess. I know the exact numbers. I get reports every week which tell me exactly. We currently have about 912 in stock right now on 250,000 a month in revenue. You can kind of do the maths. I think we have about 18. I think average quantity we purchase per SKU is 18. That kind of gives you an idea. So you can, I don't know, spend per SKU or revenue per SKU. So if only 250,000 divided by, what did I say? 900. I think it was 912. I'll do. That's like £274 per SKU. And if you have 18 in stock, yeah, so that's saying like 15, maybe that might be a bit off. £15 per SKU, but I'm guessing that's sale price, and that sounds a bit wrong. I think we're about £21 sale price per item. Don't quote me. 912 I know is a fact. So there you go. I think that answers. But yeah, hope that answers. DAA, welcome back. Thank you very much. I hope you didn't miss me. And I hope your business is booming, absolutely smashing it. Charles Lee Raymond asks, what strategy do you use in OA? Buy stuff, sell it, buy more, repeat, find stuff, buy stuff. Like, it's really simple. Go on find something low that you can resell on Amazon for a profit, buy it, get it sold, and repeat the process. Once you figure out how to do it a couple of times, hire some team members, VAs. They start doing that, and then you do the purchasing. You've got enough. You got like 2 or 3. You're just buying all the time, and then after a while, maybe you promote one up to a purchasing manager, and then you hire another one to replace. And now you've got a purchasing manager and 3 sources, and they find it and they buy it themselves. And then now you've got an admin, so you've got to do a lot of administration, like stock and invoices and accounts. You get an admin VA, we provide them as well. And then all of a sudden, now you're just kind of watching the business. You're not really in it, and you're just kind of improving, finding the wheel, making it better. So that's all we do. That's it. That's the strategy. And then obviously take other people's money and build it. Yeah. Happy days. Facebook user, seeing your email about admin VA, could you provide more detail why we need an admin VA and what it can do to improve and scale our Amazon business, Tom? I may be in touch with Fast Track FBA. Cool. Yeah, so if you want to know, you can go to fasttrackfba.com and just look up, I think it's services VAs, and you can choose admin VA. You can even book in a free 30-minute call. So long story short is, if I just talk about a very typical structure of our business, we have purchasing manager and sources and admin VAs. And to give you an idea of what they all do, sources find products that we buy and resell on Amazon. So sources find the products, and that's all they do. They find products that we're going to buy to resell for a profit. Purchasing managers manage the whole business, and really what they're doing is managing the people and just managing the sources, saying, hi guys, today I think we should focus on this brand or this store or these types of products we want, or these replenishables, for example. Giving direction to the sources, and then your purchasing manager, all they're doing is reviewing the deals that are coming in from sources and physically buying. Now, that's really simple, but you do have a lot of other stuff that needs going on. So you've got logistics, working with the suppliers, making sure the stock's arriving, checking it in, working with the warehouse, working with Amazon, dealing with IP complaints, dealing with customer messages, stranded inventory, maybe pricing updates, accounts. I get a full P&L, balance sheet, and a forecast from my admin VAs every month and every week, a forecast. We do the cash flow balance sheet, cash flow as well. And fundamentally there's a lot of administration to enable these guys to do what they're doing, because these guys, the source and the purchasing manager, they make the money. The admin VAs help them make the money by getting everything else off their plate. I even get my admin VAs sometimes. They used to go through my emails and clear down all like bulk emails, deal with stuff for me, like just make my life easy. Like if I don't have to do it, I don't want to do it. That's the answer, and hence why I have 3 companies. So long story short is that the admin VAs at a very fundamental level are doing 2 things. They deal with all the inventory management, so logistics, and then number 2, they're managing all the accounting side. They speak to my accountants, they deal with all the accountants, they do all that, and they deal with Amazon as well. So that's kind of like inventory and account side. So, and what do they do? And the way I measure my business is once a week I have a conversation with them. We have a very structured meeting, which is chit chat for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. We have and then I literally show them where all the money is on the bank accounts and credit cards and the debt. And then they tell me by doing the cash flow sheet what to move the money, so that I move the money as they say, and that helps us do the cash flow. And then they do the calculations to work out how much money we have available to spend this week, so that we can pay all our bills and then buy as much stock as possible. They will communicate that to my purchasing manager, whose job is to then spend that money. And then what we will do is, and then really simply is, so they'll just do that every week. And also they'll ask me questions like, hi Tom, we've got a problem here, what do you recommend, etc., etc. And then that's every week. That's all the conversation I have with them once a week. And then they'll do everything in the background, like I just talked, 0 accounts, maybe QuickBooks, for example, Amazon, everything day to day. So I don't have to deal with any of that. All the suppliers, they get phone calls, get invoices, everything else. They do it, the accountants maybe doing the VAT returns, sorting them out, supporting this out. And then finally, once a month, we'll sit down, and mine's Friday, we'll sit down and basically just go through, they'll present to me the balance sheet, so complete the accounts, they'll put the balance sheet, so I'll show you here's where all your assets are, they'll present the P&L, and then they'll do a variance from Amazon P&L versus our actual P&L, because you get what's known as a stock variance, and that's what you need to know, because you don't, like, Seller Talk, it's great, or Seller Board, but they don't really show you the true P&L, because long story. And then we just look through that, and that tells me how much profit I've made for the month. And it's really important. So really, what does it give me? Well, my team give me updates on sourcing and purchasing every week. But at the end of the day, the one thing I really want to know is, number 1, are we paying our bills and everything we've got left? Are we maximizing to buy in all the stock we can? They do that, cash flow. And then number 2 is they show me exactly how much profit I've made every single month. And that's it. There's like nothing else I have to worry with. And it just saves me time. And what does that mean? It means I can build another business. I don't have to deal with other stuff. They deal with Amazon. They'll deal with all our IP attorneys. They just deal with the problems. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And that's why, like, I can run 2, probably will be 7-figure businesses on 2 hours a week now, because I have admin VAs, 6 of them in 1 phone call. It takes 1 hour a week, and my ops manager, who's 1 hour a week as well, and they just do everything, and we just have conversations. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you got any more questions down below about admin VAs. It's fasttrackfba.com. I think you go like VAs, and then you can go to like admin VA section. You can see it. Hey Tom, my VA started today, and she's great energy. Can't wait to see what she brings to the table. Fantastic. Leo, top tip for you. Well done for joining the thing. I think you're going to love it. Make sure you join the weekly support call. It's in the Fast Track FBA Private VA Academy Facebook group. Jade hosts them. It's like, you're going to be really good, but a lot of stuff is like language, how you talk. She'll just help you. So you can just double check, censor this week, am I doing the right stuff? Yeah, cool. They're free for the first 12 weeks, and we don't charge at the moment. We may do in the future. Use them. Trust me, they're the best thing you're ever going to do. DAA, hi. What will you prefer, SellerAmp SaaS or BuyBot Pro? I'm looking for IP checks and doing AA. So long story short, SellerAmp SaaS or BuyBot Pro. So we have SellerAmp, FBA Multi-Tool, BuyBot Pro, Ace and Zen, RevSeller, and I'll be honest, I don't really source. Like, I could run the 2 businesses on 2 hours a week. So I would be lying when I said thing. My team, who can use all the accounts, they prefer SellerAmp SaaS. They really like that. And IP Checks, that has that in there as well. We also have the Fast Track FBA brand checker. That's you can see on the Fast Track FBA website. It's our list as well that we maintain. We always update that with when we find out. So I think for you is just be mindful that it's really up to you what you find both. A lot of people like BuyBot Pro, a lot of people like SaaS. It's whatever you prefer. And do you know what? They both have trials, I think, so test them, like really test them. It's just what works for you better. So play. Charles, hi, welcome back. What's the strategy? I've answered that one already, so I'm not going to come through. Phil O. If you were selling on Amazon alongside working 9 to 5, how would you allocate your time whilst working on Amazon business? Perhaps create a timetable, dedicated times. Wow. Phil, great question. Absolutely love this. Called time blocking. And I do this. I literally do this. My calendar this week is like insane. 1 second. So I needed some water. So let's be clear. First things first. Before I get into this particularly, your whole business is about three factors I think about. It's really money and the ability to invest that money. They're the two main ones, i.e., how much cash do I have, and do I have enough deals to spend that cash on that are going to turn me a profit to make me more cash? And you're just kind of repeating that cycle and growing your business. Then the other one really is your time to manage those two processes, or to manage the process that goes around those two bits. That's the way I see it. And so, and this question I'm going to kind of answer is like, if you've got a lot of cash, you can build teams like I've done. And I did it in my USA. And if you ever get a chance, go back and watch like my plans for USA videos, because you'll really see like how I've structured it from the very beginning all the way up to where I am today. And I've completely outsourced that business and I started it. And that was about 13 months ago, so not long. So you can kind of see what I focused on every month and why. So I'd really recommend watching that. My plans for USA, or be something like that. Type it in Google, into YouTube videos. But if I were you, let's just say, for example, you have, I'm going to call it 2 hours a day, 7 days. Because if you're serious, you should be working weekends on this, because you want to get out your job. So you can be focusing at least 15 hours a week you got. So 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, that's 10 hours. And we're going to call it, 3 hours, 16 technically, 16 hours on the week, 3 hours per day on the weekend. You should be focusing a lot on it. So what am I going to do? Look, you want to maximize the amount of time sourcing. So what I'd probably do is allocate like half an hour every Monday to checking on my business. There'd be business checks, and you're really going to be looking at revenue, profit, spend, cash flow management. What else am I going to be looking at? Probably just like my account health. You're just checking where your business is, and you're going to be recording it every single week. Why? Because you want to see the trend, how it's going. How much money did I spend? How much revenue have I made? How much profit have I made? How much cash have I got available this week? Remember that cash and deals to buy. You're making that. You want to try and get your cash as low as possible and revenue growing, because your cash is invested. That's fine. And cash flow management. Fast Track FA YouTube channel, cash flow. There's a £30 sheet you can buy. Trust me, we use it. It's game changing. Like, absolutely amazing. I do a whole video on how to use it. It's really useful. So that'd be about 30 minutes, maybe an hour on a Monday. And I like that on Monday. Monday gives me clarity. I want clarity in the direction we're going. So then, like every day, I'll probably allocate like 10 minutes, 15 minutes per day. Amazon Seller Central checks, messages, kind of like IP complaints, or not IP complaints, like, what do you call it? Fixed price alerts, all that kind of stuff. Get it cleared down. It's only 15 minutes. That's all you're allowed. And I'd probably actually do that at the end of the day, not the beginning. Why? Because what you tend to find is you creep. If you do it at the beginning, you'll go not 15, 20, 30, 50 minutes, 1 hour. And then all of a sudden, you spend more time doing administration than you do buying products, and you're here to buy products. So I do that at the end of the 2 hours. And then I would spend all my time, Monday, Thursday, Friday, however I've got left of the time. So say, for example, I'm doing 2 hours. So the last 15 minutes is administration. And then the rest of the time, if I've got an hour and a half, I would probably break it down in, I would have spend goals per day, not number of deals to find, not like that. It would be spend goals per day. And like you might have like, I'm here to achieve 30% ROI. So I'm not going to accept deals below 30% ROI, but I want 30% ROI. And my goal is to spend, I don't know, £100 a day. 30% ROI is £30 for 2 hours work, £15 per hour. It's not very good, but you want to be better than that, obviously. You're trying to grow. And your goal is to try and beat that spend goal every day. And the reason why I say that is because we can spend forever finding, sourcing, doing different techniques. But what I really think is that actually we should be sourcing and buying. If we're just sourcing and not buying, it's wasted time. But the goal should be not to find deals, it's to find deals that we're buying. And your goal for each kind of like sourcing session, should we say, should be spending an amount of money. And you might divide that by like say, for example, on a Monday, you've done your cash flow, I've got £1,000 to spend. Cool. So I've got 5 days of sourcing, maybe you're not working weekends or however you are. Divide it by 5, £200 per session. Right, cool. Now you know what you need to do. You got your Monday, you got your admin, you know what you're going on, you know how much money you need to spend, it's allocated off the day, you get in, you get it bought, you've got an hour and a half, you make it happen in that hour and a half. And then you do your administration, and then you're done, and then you stop. And what you do is you make sure you stop. And let's be crystal clear: if you've got a job 9 to 5, you don't do your Amazon business while you're working your 9 to 5, but also in turn, you don't do your 9 to 5 while you're working your Amazon business. You very hard line, stop, that's it, I'm done. Make sure you have a break. Always be learning, follow people who are where you want to be. I think that's the important thing. Ask questions, network, build a mastermind as well. Like take time out, talk to people, figure out things. And the one thing which I'll say as well is, statistically speaking, we've done like surveys within the group. Something like more than 50% of people don't take any money out of the business for 12 months. I think that's really important. Also as well, don't start taking money out of your business until you've got at least twice the amount of salary you need to take. So if you want £1,000 a month out to help, pick you up, cool. You should be making 2,000 in profits per month before you start taking 1,000. Why? Because your business will just flatline. It won't grow. You need to keep reinvesting. Phil, I hope that makes sense. Really good question. I love time boxing. I think I did a video on it. Elon Musk does it. Leo Ace. Hey Tom, just wanted to know, where do you get your returns sent to? And if they're not fair, what do you do? So we return back to our warehouse. Our prep center does them for us. I can't say who it is because they only do us. I've worked with them for 5 years since the beginning. We do such volume that they're not interested in anyone else. We just do what we do. And they sell them on eBay and Facebook. In the US, we have another company that we're testing right now. And if it all goes well, we'll pass that information out. To be honest, I'll just go in a couple of groups and be like, how do you deal with returns? eBay, Facebook, liquidations, it happens. I even thought this morning about making a service about it, but I don't really like little stuff. It's annoying. So I think someone could make a service, returns, definitely. Gaming Mama. Hi, Tom, welcome back. I have several brand approvals on Amazon, but when I try to list, I keep getting asked to get approval. Help I complete, any tips? So I'm guessing you're gated. Top thing for you, just make sure you've got at least like £1,000, $1,000 in sales. If you've got 0 sales, it's not going to work, or like below that, it's not going to do it. If you want to know, in the US, we got to about $7,000 and then it automatically started working. So just on a quick note, I'm sure when you're saying I've got several brand approvals on Amazon, but like, I'm guessing you're getting ungated or you've got the documentation. Like, if not, set up a wholesaler account. EE distribution in the US and what are they called? I can't think of their name to save my life. It's been so long. Just if someone knows the UK one, they do everything. You could even call them up and be like, "Hi, I want to buy from Amazon." They'll tell you what to buy, which is really nice. But at least £1,000 worth of sales. The reason is, if you've got no track record with Amazon, they just won't let you do it. Doesn't matter. Even if you've got the right documentation, they don't care. I hope that makes sense. Let me know, Gaming Mama, if that answers your question down below. Leo Ace, are you worried about Amazon price match scheme? No, because we always knew it happened. Let's put it this way. I thought it was happening. Probably 2 years ago, I thought it was happening. But I did a video on it recently. But like you saw, but now they've shown quite clear evidence that they're price matching. Like no, like there's always opportunity. Like there's no. I just like the game's always changing. That's what we know. So I think you just got to, you understand. No, I'll keep playing. Yeah, let me know, Lee, if you're worried. Who-Man is back. I believe the USS connects to Amazon API to track current price. Any other metrics? Also, does it record the price per item was sold or at the current price? Will it show my final profit? So we're doing some updates, but let's just be crystal clear. We have an API right now which tracks to Amazon. It pulls back within the last 24 hours the buy box price. The seller rank, the Amazon FBA fees, UK and US will be either UK or US depending on which one you bought. And then also as well, what you do is you upload you just basically download the report from Amazon, which is your sales. So because we know your sell price and we can track it back from the SKU back to your buy price, we know your fees, and we know the Amazon ASIN fees. We know what you bought it for and what you sold it for. We're looking at your profit. Yes, it does do a profit and loss, but I need to be very honest. It's not something, it will give you a rough idea of where your profit and loss is, but I wouldn't use it for any tax return purposes or anything like that. Like there's some good software that does that, and that's why you should be using it. But it gives you a rough idea, but like per item, it's pretty useful. Really, the ultimate sourcing sheet is exactly what it says, is to help you source. So what we understand is that, say, for example, you brought, I don't know, a product and then you sold it and it made like good profit. It might be like £4.22 profit, for example, or $4.22. Now, it might actually be like $4.10, but we calculate it's $4.22 just because some fee changes or something. It's roughly enough. Like it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's roughly enough. But what can we do from that? Well, we can attribute that $4.22 to the supplier, to the ASIN, to the sourcing method, and then tell you that this supplier, statistically speaking, is giving you some really good profitable deals. Whereas maybe another supplier while they might look good, all their deals price crash. So we're telling you, don't go to this supplier, go to this one, vice versa, or like this ASIN's a top ASIN's giving you a lot of products. And we can do that by using the USS. And it's really about sourcing better products and improving the efficiency through analytics. And also, like, this product in the buy box is this price when you reorder, because we know the current buy box price. Here's what you bought it for. That's going to help you out. It's all in a Google spreadsheet, and you can even add your own sheets to it and do what you want. So it works really usefully. A lot of people have found it really, really powerful. We've got a really great support network, lots of add-ons with it as well, like speed up integrations into Amazon, and there's some really cool developments coming out as well. But I hope that makes sense, Human. Let me know. And obviously, if you are interested, go to Fast Track FBA website. We don't publicly advertise it. Go to the little chat head window down the bottom and just go, hey, I'm interested about the USS. Any chance I could speak to someone about it? And they'll share you a link to booking a free 30-minute consultation call with either Pat or Kim, who actually run it. And they can kind of give you like a demonstration, show you what it's like, answer any specific questions you have, and talk you through. But you have to ask in the chat head. David, hi Tom. What is the process of selling on Germany? I sell in the UK and US, and it's quite straightforward, but I'm not sure about VAT requirement in this country and how to get that number. I don't really know. I'm not in a position, like, I'm exploring it, but we put it on hold until probably Q1 next year. I know I keep talking about it in my YouTube videos. Just, we need 12 purchasing people by the end of the year to be able to launch Germany. We've only got 6. We'll be 9 by the Q4, but it's going to take a little while. So we don't want to stretch ourselves thin. We'd rather keep growing. Like, US is going to do 1 million this year. So we just need, don't spread yourself too thin. If it's working, keep doing more of it. So the VAT requirement, I'm guessing, is quite simple. You just literally just get a VAT set up for VAT in Germany. That's it. So like Amazon might even be able to help you with it. I don't know the exact answer, but you can definitely do it. But the process will be exactly the same in the UK. If you sell in the UK and you've done the VAT process there, like, you just need to have an agent there, and I'll probably speak to an accountant and they'll help you out. But that's probably all I do know. So I'm probably going to be a bit short on the answer. Sorry, David, but I need to be honest, because I've not done it and I've not really looked into it yet. I've only looked at company formation at the moment. But obviously, because you're going to be probably a foreign registered entity or foreign entity, are you not a German national? You need to be that registered from the get-go, I think. Hope that makes sense. Amar, right, we've got 20 minutes, guys. If you've got questions, drop them down below. I promise I will get through them. I'm getting a bit slow today. Amazing content. Cool. Thank you so much. And hey, thank you for joining. Do you purchase stocks that have no ranking showing on Amazon, or do you avoid, or do you have a minimum ranking that you don't go over? Look, at the end of the day, like, say stock that has no ranking, if we believe it's selling, so you're looking at not just the rank, it might be like, I don't know, like it's getting a review, 2 reviews every month, and it's not a variation listing, then I'd probably be like, I think it's selling because it's getting reviews. And that's, if I do a rough estimate, 1 review per 100, that's 200 sales per month, because 2 reviews per month. So I'd be like, I think it's selling. So I might buy like 5 and see how it goes. I definitely do that, because if it sells, fantastic. Maybe I can see like changes in price fluctuation. Maybe look at Keeper. Maybe I can look at the number of sellers and see changes in the number of seller count. That's going to give me an indication that it's actually selling. But then on the other hand, you talked about, do you have a minimum ranking that you don't go over? I'm guessing maximum ranking you're talking about. Not really. We have guides, but I'm happy to go outside them so long as we think we can get profit. Like, give you an idea, like if there's, let's say, for example, in the UK, 100,000, a lot of people talk about that. Well, if there's a product at 120,000, it's £10 profit, for example, and it's 100% ROI, and there's 1 or 2 FBM sellers. There have been FBA in the past, but they're not there now, and I can get in there and make a decent profit. And maybe it's selling 1 or 2 a month. I'd be like, cool, fine, like I'll try it, like absolutely fine. So it's up to you, just as long as it's worth the time. That's the whole point. Hope that makes sense. Facebook user, thanks for the answer, mate. I will definitely be going for the course if I decide to expand. One more question, if that's okay. How do your taxes with regard to selling in the USA? Do we pay tax in the UK or USA or both? I know you can't give tax advice. Yes, obviously this isn't tax advice. I'm not a trained professional. So obviously we pay taxes in the UK. Let's put it this way. I'm not my company, and my company is not me. So in the UK we have a company, and in the US we have a company. They're 2 very different companies. And those taxes sell products, buy products, sell products, make profit, and then they get taxed on corporation tax within their respective businesses. They'll have like state tax in the US, for example. We incorporate in Delaware, so there is no state tax. No, there is. It has something. It's not like a sales tax. There's a different type of tax. So do we pay tax? Yes, we do. It's corporation tax. And then if I take out money from those businesses, i.e. through dividend payments, then I have to pay on a personal level, and that would always be in the UK. But if you want to know, my companies in the US and UK, they will pay the tax in the US and UK where they are registered. That's it. So, but the course talks about it. So in the course, Fast Track FBA Start Selling on Amazon USA down here, we talk about, number one, the taxation, how we incorporated, what tax model we went through, why we went for that tax model. And then also as well, we give you 4 accountants in which accountant we go through, like all the different things. So the course just talks you through exactly everything you need to know, set up, do it all. It's all good. So I hope that makes sense. 2321. Thanks for your help, Tom. Just wanted to take a moment for taking time. I just want to take a moment for taking the time to help with the group. No, it's cool. Honestly, I really like doing it. Like, it's nice to give back. And my God, I talk to my team, and it's nice to ask questions and see how everyone's getting on. Like, you get a thing. So, and hey, thanks to you for like taking time out of your week. And my God, you're busy. You come and listen to me. So I'm glad I'm helping, and thank you for asking and joining. It's always a pleasure. My God, when I first started, loads of people gave me their time, so it's just cool. Like, I like that. So thank you. Java Kid Programming. Oh my God, I tried to learn Java once, never. Right. Hey Tom, we got an Amex Gold Card, Charge Card in the UK, and did your Stripe method, but it's got a limit reduced because it's against terms of service apparently. So am I doing something wrong? Okay. I didn't know it was against terms of service. Yeah, because is it called chargebacks or something? Yeah, interesting. I didn't know it was against Amex terms of service. It might be going back to them and say, hey, look, I'm really sorry. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that. No problem. Just look on a side note, because obviously we've done it. Like, I don't do it all the time. We've done it sometimes because we have a lot of cash in the bank. We don't need to worry. But you can do it we've done it a few times. But one thing which I will say is with Amex, your limit got reduced. It's not the end of the world. Just spend the money on it normally, and just the more you spend on it, the more it will go up. So like we've had it before where like the limit would, I think when we got, like, it was really funny when we got our platinum card to the UK, they gave us like 20,000, which was like nothing. But then they said, oh, like you've been spending too much. So they press under review, and they were like, you're spending too much. But what they didn't realize is that on the same company, same business, Amex as well, so it's like the same my Amazon UK business, we had 120,000 on the Amex Gold card and 20,000 on the Platinum. They said, you're spending too much on the Platinum. So it was like you, yeah, it's like like it was really simple, like really stupid. Like, why are you complaining at 20 here and you give me 120 here? So the thing. So if they just said, they came back and gave us 70, and they were like, just spend more on the card and you'll get your limit up. So then it says, sorry about that reduced limit. It might be the case. If that's the case, we'll take the video down because obviously it's got that thing. But like, I'll check on that on the terms of service. Let me screenshot that and make a note of that. 2 seconds. I'm just going to share it to my team. I think, sorry, 1 second. If I don't do this now, I will forget. Amex PO service. Cool. That's cool. Last thing I want to do is go put information out there which is bad or going to cause problems. Or it might be the case that we share it and say, look, warning, this might be against terms. This is, so don't do it all the time. So thanks for letting me know, Java Kid Programming. And also we'll go from there. David, hi Tom. How do your companies handle customer refunds? Really, 2 things. Number one, like Seller Toolkit shows you the refund rate, but that isn't like, we kind of look at the pinch of salt. What we're really interested in is the actual unfillable returns, i.e. because Amazon will refurbish them or put them back into supply. Like if a customer returns a product and it can go back into supply and like new, there's no problem. But if it's a return where it isn't, then that's a problem. So that's the one we're really looking at. So number one, you go to like Seller Central, Business FBA reports. I think it's like return inventory or something, customer returns, and you're looking at the percentage, which are unfillable. And then number 2 is we'll ship them either in the UK back to our warehouse. They'll sell them on to eBay or Facebook or whatever. They take a massive cut. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's like dead stock to us effectively. Or in the US, we'll ship it to another company and then they'll sell it. Otherwise, it goes to liquidation. That's it. But at the end of the day, it's just cost of doing business. So it's a pain, but got to have good enough margins to cover it, but it should be okay. I hope that makes sense, David. Who-man, my God, Who-man, you are like on fire with the questions today. Let's go through. Do you use an accountant that specializes in e-commerce, Amazon, or more general accountant? What are the pros and cons? Yes, we do. Again, USA is in the course. UK is e-commerce accountants. A guy called Joe. Just type in e-commerce accountants in the UK, in like Google in the UK, and you'll find it. You can book in a free call with them. Do pass my name. Like the guy buys me a lunch or something if we get nice recommendations. So, long story short, I learned this quite early in life, is that you want in your life, you want experts around you. You want people who know what they're doing and they can help you out. Why? Because you do something, i.e. like you are buying products cheap and selling them. That is where your value is. That is where you're an expert. You're not an expert at VAT and tax implications and everything else. You pay for experts to have the domain knowledge to deal with that problem so that you don't have to spend the headspace and the time to deal with that problem. Instead, you can spend it on your expertise, which is making money. Now, you are right. You can find people who will do your accounts for less. That's fine. But if they get it wrong and start filing accounts, and then it might be a headache that 3 years down the line, you don't realize you've been paying too much, or maybe you've not been paying enough and now your accounts are wrong and you owe a lot of money or something. Like, at the end of the day, I just want good people around me. And if it means I have to pay a bit more, that's fine. But so long as I don't have to worry about this, because at the end of the day, my job is to do what I do really, really well. And the more time I spend doing that and the less time I spend doing other things which aren't that, generally speaking, the more money I'll make. And, you know, like, let's call it in the UK, we spend like £300 a month on accountants. In the US, we spend about $1,000 a month on accounting, so that's a lot more. But my God, like, you know, in the UK, it might be that I'm spending 100 with a non-Amazon register and 300 with an Amazon one. Well, long story short, it's like that's £200. Like, I could make that in an hour. But, you know, to have to spend that hour doing accounting and just make sure it's right, not being able to call them up when there's a problem, like that's not a good use of my time, if that makes sense. There's a reason why you pay for professionals, because not only do they know it now, they know it in the future and they're always updated. So that's why we're paying for it. And also, Amazon's changing, and I don't want to have to learn that and teach the other guy how to do Amazon. I want my accountant to come to me to tell me what I need to do to stay compliant tax-wise. So I hope that makes sense. But it's up to you. I can't say is that right or wrong. You can do it with a non-specialized one, but for me, I just want to. Gaming Bummer, can you scale with Keeper only? Well, technically, yeah, but I probably wouldn't. I'd probably want to use some kind of sourcing tool because it would just speed up the calculations. But yeah, you could. I would hate to use the Amazon calculator. My God, or an Excel spreadsheet just out. Ooh, no, you can. Yeah, nothing's impossible. That's limiting beliefs. But yeah, you can. But no, I wouldn't. Who-man, what productivity scheduling apps do you recommend? Google Calendar? Trello? That's it. Google Calendar, honestly. We don't even use Trello anymore. We use Asana across the company. Jedimus. Watched your YouTube channel the other day. Really good. Keep up the great work. Hi, Tom. I hope I'm saying your name right. Sorry if I'm not. Hi, Tom. I hope you're well. What do you think about the business loans? Have you ever taken a business loan out? My God. Yeah, we got a business loan. I posted it on the group. 681,000 in the UK. What do I think about them? Great opportunity. You know, we've taken loads. 200. I think the last one was about 220 or something, £1,000. So, long story short, watch my YouTube channel. I've done lots of videos on this. There's a lot of like how I structure my thinking. Long story short is, if you think about, you buy something today, you sell it, it takes 3 months, for example. Buy, ship to Amazon, wait on Amazon, get it sold, 14 days to get the money back in your account. And so it's 3 months from end to end. That means you can flip the money 4 times in a year. So let's say, for example, you're working on a 10% net margin. So you take 100,000, 10% net margin. So that's 10,000 once, 4 times, would be 40,000 net profit you generate out of it. Now, if you're doing a £100,000 loan on a 10% APR, that's £100,000 cost. So in theory, you're going to get a £100,000 loan. It's going to cost you 10,000 in debt, interest fees, and you're going to make 40,000, but then you've got to pay the 10K off. You should net out 30K up. Fantastic. Now, that's the basic math. Now, the other question you've got to ask is, if I do buy 100,000 now, can I actually deploy that money? Number one, do I have the ability to operationally find the deals? Remember, I talked about the 3 metrics: money, deals to investor money, to make more money, etc., and then my time to manage. So number one, you're about to get a massive dump of money. Number two, can I find enough deals? And if you're doing it yourself, it comes a lot more challenging. Hence, sourcing VAs coming really good, and purchasing managers coming good. So building systems is really important because you can just throw fuel on the fire, i.e. money. So that's the other one. The other ones you really want to think about are, number one, are we operationally set up? I.e. like, if you're doing 100, if you're doing like, say for example, if you're going to invest 100,000 right now, that would be £200,000 turnover. Buy 10, sell for 20, for example, double your money. But that's 100,000 over 3 months. That's about 30,000 a month. So you can increase your revenue by about 60,000 a month. Top of my head, 66,000. So can you deal with that from an administrative point of view? You've got to find more invoices, you've got to do that, admin, VAs, etc. Also as well, finding the deals, physically purchasing the deals. That's an additional £30,000 you've got to spend every month. That's going to be 10,000 a week roughly. And then the other one is, can your warehouse actually handle that volume increase? When we're getting £250,000 loans, we had to call the warehouse and say, look, we're going to take this in about 3 weeks' time. You're going to be like getting a lot of stock in, and we are hiring. So there's a lot of considerations. I think as long as you can deploy the money, you're fine. If you can't, I'd be very mindful. You can take a lesser loan. We're looking at doing that now. We don't need 681,000. It's just too much money right now. This time next year, definitely. But just right now, we're not in a position. But I hope that makes sense to the question. Let me know down below. Right, I've got to go quick. I've got 5 minutes. Where can I get accounting templates, if any? Fast Track FBA, we do an admin course. We do lots of, look at our admin course. But I don't really know what you mean by accounting templates. FastTrackFBA.com, we go resources, and then up top is like resources and courses. We do our admin course. It talks you through and gives you all the templates, everything we do for our admin VAs. And check that out. That helps you to answer it. It's not cheap. It's £597. But you do get a weekly support call with my admin VAs, and they'll answer any question you have. Human, is your right hand in the business the first VA that you ever hired got promoted, or someone else you hired you to? Someone external. The guy who I hired was the senior operations manager for the biggest shopping mall in the Philippines, and knows his stuff. So just supported them. So yeah, it's someone we hired in. It's not to say that no, one of my first VAs, like one of my early VAs, is now a purchasing manager in my UK business. So they're operationally very senior, but the person who oversees it, like the ops side, they're more of like a senior operations manager as opposed to a purchaser. But my purchasing manager was a very early purchaser I had. AJL, what is your ETA on hiring a VA at the moment? I think, don't quote me, I think it's like 1 week, as in like you pay today, we might be able to get you one on Monday next week. Like it's super quick. If you want a sourcing VA, right now we've got no queue. Like they are super fast. So you can go fasttrackfba.com/VA. You can hire a sourcing VA today and get it super, super quick. I'm spending around 4K a week on product and growing 21 with a couple of mentioned Q4. Yeah, fine. To be honest, I get them in now and then just get them in for Q4. Q4, you make so much money, honestly, really good. But yeah, there's no delay on VAs at the moment, and we're scaling up. Could you please do a video on what categories are ungated for total beginners? Oh, we've done videos on this already. Not all of them. We don't know all of them, but we know which ones are the top categories for beginners. You can look at this. We have it on our channel. Check them out. Trust me. Xavier, what would you do if a good selling product has been price tanked from £8 profit to £3? Do some calculations. Like look at like so a couple of things. Look at when the price tanks, the sales rank decreases as well. What does it mean? Number of sales per month increase. Look at the sales per month right now. Look at all the people who've tanked their price. Look at how much stock they've got. Calculate how long it's going to take for them to sell their stock out, and then you're going to be able to answer a question: do I hold? Once they sold out, the price will go back up again because all the people are crashing it. They're now gone. Or will it take too long? I am not willing to hold, and I should just get in, get it sold, take a loss, break even, doesn't matter, get done. Only you know that answer. That's what calculation would do. Would you set a £3 profit hold? My God, you're making a profit. My God, profit's profit. If you think it's cool, if not, hold. Do what I just said, figure it out. That was great advice. Facebook user, cool. Glad I could help. David, hey Tom, what's your process for efficiently recording all these numerous invoices to our purchasing inventory that come in via email? Admin VAs. I have 6 of them. Yeah. It's a horrible process, and it's like they don't even come in by email. It's like you got to go and fetch them, call them, email, chat support. Like it's a nightmare. We're doing so many purchases. You just need people. We have admin VAs, and that's why we created the service. Harrison's Direct. Thanks very much, AJL. That if whoever's asking about getting ungated, Harrison's Direct in the UK, speak to them. Sir Tom, hi Dan. What code does this business sell most? I do not have an idea. I don't know. Really don't know. I don't look at categories. We're not too interested in that. We mix and match all the time. The usual ones like toys and games, grocery, beauty, health and personal care. They're the usual ones. AJL, gaming mama. You may have brand approval, but it may not be approved. Double check that first. Yeah, good. Right on. Yeah, you can have brand and there are basically 3 types of gating: brand, category, and ASIN level. I.e., you're not allowed to ASIN. Do check. We've done lots of videos on like category gating. Check that. Then we kind of follow through. Email order confirmations good for VAT purposes? No. Email order, no. For VAT purposes, you need to have the VAT number on them. If like check HMRC, it has guidance for VAT required invoices. Check with your accountant as well. But an email order confirmation is not a VAT invoice, even a simplified one, unless it meets the requirements. And generally speaking, they don't meet the requirements. Some do, but most of the time they don't. So check it with HMRC's website. It has some good guidance on it. Fashion, look, hi Don, do you buy from retailers who do not probably just ask just receipts if you how to no, like all retailers will provide. We buy online only, we don't buy in person, and they all provide invoices. So the net result is that whenever they ask for proof of identity, we can always provide it. If they don't provide the invoice, like how would we deal with accounting? So no, the answer is we don't really. Hey Tom, can you explain more about the new admin VA service? I've done that. I talked about that. I really liked that. Go back if you are interested in talking about the admin VA service. I've talked a lot about that and what they do in my business. Basically, they help your purchasing manager and sourcing VAs. They do the work. Admin VAs does everything else to help your business efficient as possible. Can you replan a product? Do you SKU or create a new one? I create a new one every time. The USS does that. There's an option on the USS Ultimate Sourcing Sheet, fasttrackfba.com/USS. You can book a free call. It does. It has the option to either create a new one or reuse. Just one button. You tick. Really simple. English to me. Is it normal for some days with no sales, taking into consideration if you have to? Does Wise work with USA's deposit method? Yeah, you can use Wise as a USA deposit method. I think. Don't quote me. We don't use it, but you can use a deposit method because we do it in the UK for like Germany. So I wouldn't see why not in the US. And yes, you've got not many products. There will be days with no sales. That stands to reason. Admin VA service fine. Is it worth to get ungated in Lego? I'm new, so I'm not sure. Keep getting some sales. Like right now, don't worry too much. But yeah, like get ungated in Q4 for Lego. I would, but like you just started Q3, so I think you'd be fine. Give it like try and get some more sales and do it automatically. But yeah, Harrison's Direct. Check them. I understand it takes 7 to 9 months to set up on Amazon's USA as a UK seller. No, please. No, it didn't take. It didn't take 7 to 9 months to set up an Amazon USA as a UK seller. It took like, my God, if you start today. And by the way, we're doing it in COVID. It took 4 months, and because we were waiting for the EIN, which took like 3.5 months. But I think you're fine now because COVID's finished. So I think you can have it done in a month. It wasn't very hard. Like it really wasn't very hard. Do you need 10K ready to go? No, I think you probably do it on 5. But like if you have 10K, fantastic. I think you're good. More admin VA. No, let's keep going. Don't spam, dude. Hey, dude, I agree. How much investment needs to earn 500 a month? If you're working at 10% profit margin, 5 grand. 5 grand in sales per month, that's 2,500 per month. And if you're buying it and you've got 3 months, 7,500 US. But you probably work a bit higher margins than that. Cool, like 5,000 US, top of my head. Will this YouTube video be later as I just joined? Yeah, fine. You can always go back and do it. I always kind of do them. Let's go through. Hi, Tom. When you're getting ungated, do we actually need to send those items in? Yes, you can. You don't actually need to send the items in, I think. Skipping all the admin VA stuff. Watch my YouTube videos. I'm going to skip because time. I've got like a super busy day. I've been off for 4 weeks. I've got lots of like getting started on Amazon USA. We do a free express course. Just get that. It's like 7 days. It helps you get started. So yeah, do that. That's really important. And I think, for you, just like do the express course. YouTube has a lot of playlists you can check on my Fast Track FBA YouTube channel. Look at playlists to help you out. I'm struggling to find good deals. How can I buy FBA leads? How does it work? If you want to look, fasttrackfba.com/leads, or just fasttrackfba.com, go to services and then leads. You'll see the services we provide. But it is hard. Like that's why people pay for them, because it's hard. It's not easy. Give him about 4,000. Give it all approved. Still can't list. Okay, fine. Yeah, check the brand and category approval. That's all I say. Also, it might be that your invoice isn't the right one. You might want to like share in a Facebook group like what Amazon is saying, what you're providing. That will help out. John, how do you purchase more than supplier doing not everyone's ways? Create another account, find a new supplier, ship to a different prep center. That's what I can recommend. Loving it. Do you recommend using tactical arbitrage, longer tactical buckets? We don't use either. And like every 7-figure seller I know doesn't use sourcing software like tactical arbitrage. They use like sourcing tools, but they don't use sourcing software. So yeah, fine. Like we don't use it. I've never used tactical arbitrage. Yeah. Do you have multiple accounts on supplier stores? I'm sure we do. Yeah. David, I'm getting there. Wow, it's getting great. Could you please on how to structure VA contracts and incentives? Yeah, sure. Oh my God. I would hate to say it, but the only way I think we can do it is because you'd have to just go through Fast Track FBA VA Academy. We do it for you. I don't think we share that. Oh my God, I'm sure you could download some contracts somewhere, like VA contracts, but we do it with the VA Academy. We provide them all for you. Like basic terms and conditions, just Google employment contracts and download that. Incentives, we have 4 different incentive plans that we can share with you, but they're all part of the VA Academy. So if you sign up through a VA through the VA Academy, you get all this and so much more in the MBA workbook, for free. It's all part of, whenever you hire a VA from us, we give you the contract, we give you all the incentive schemes, we give you all the support, everything else. It's not just about the VA, it's like everything around it that really helps out. Right, I will answer Jerry, thoughts on private label. I don't do it, so I can't really give any thoughts, not for me. And then how non-VAT registered can operate wholesale accounts. Cool, wholesaler, get started. They're just going to charge you VAT and you won't be able to reclaim it back. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have finished 4 minutes late. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has joined. It's been a real pleasure. And just thank you so much. I'm back now. I will be here, and it's a real pleasure to share with you. I won't lie. I've got about 4 weeks here. Then I'm back off to Miami. I've got a Tony Robbins event to attend, so I might be off again. But if there's anything else that you want, do come back next week. I'll be here same time next week, and obviously answer your questions. But I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's joined in, asked questions. It's been really, really good. And obviously I'm here next week. That's the times: UK, New York, LA. And if you are interested in starting selling on Amazon, voila, have a look down below. Great course that I made. I think you'll really love it. We're going to do 7 figures this year in the UK, in the US, and the margins are much better in the UK. So do check that out. Honestly, really, really good. But for myself, Thomas Parkinson, Fast Track FBA, stay safe, guys. Bye.